Hello, this is Frank Falvey with Frank Presents, and today it's my privilege and honor to have a candidate for Town Council, Joe McGann.
Nice to meet you,
Joe,
Frank. Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
I think you and I know one another from way back when, but you may have forgotten this ugly face.
Yeah, you have been a
Yes.
town councilor.
Yes.
When was that, Joe?
05, 06,
Yeah,
06, 07.
great. Joe, did you grow up here in Franklin?
I've been in Franklin all my life. I came here at the age of 5, so I consider that being all my life. Went through the Franklin school system. At the time when there were double sessions, a lot of people probably don't remember that, but
Oh, I do.
yes, exactly.
I
There
do.
used to be double
Before
sessions.
the Kennedy School was built, we were in double session.
Exactly true. Exactly true.
On a morning, afternoon, and bus, a late afternoon and bus
Yes.
for the second session.
Yep.
Oh,
And those students, those individuals who went through that time of double sessions, I can't think of one that didn't get a great education out of the town of Franklin and have gone on to be businessmen, business ladies, and been very successful. So the Franklin school system from that era through where we are today, I think we're very, very fortunate in the town of Franklin to have the school systems that we do.
Well, Joe, tell us what you believe the role of town councilors should be.
The town council is here to legislate. We legislate. Mr. Helen, he's the managing authority. So we legislate, we enact bylaws. We're the watchdogs for the town of Franklin, if you will.
Do you as a town council only take recommendations from outside of you as a town council, or do you as a town council put together programs?
I think the sitting 9 previous and sitting 9 now collectively do that. If I'm fortunate enough to be elected town councilor come November 4th, I want all of us to work together. I don't see that happening right now. I see a lot of divisiveness between the council and the town administrator. And the town of Franklin's people, the residents, the voters, are very, very frustrated with that. It's my hope, it's my intent, if I'm lucky enough, fortunate enough to be re-elected, because as I told you earlier, I've already served 2 terms, to try to get that so that we're all working together in the best interest of the town of Franklin. Hopefully that answers your question.
Well, this probably will clarify it. Joe, we've had 2 overrides that both have gone down to defeat.
Right.
Not by huge margin,
Yep.
but down to defeat.
Yep.
Would you ever vote for another override as a town councilor?
No, I would not. And I'll tell you, the first override failed. I don't care if it failed by 1 vote or 1,001. It failed. The people spoke. The voters spoke. So now we have override number 2. Override number 2 fails. Again, I don't care if it's by 3 votes or by 303 votes. It failed. The people have spoke. They can't afford any more. Their plate is full. I'm going to make reference to the Franklin Food Pantry that's been in the town of Franklin for a number of years. I have never, in all my life, seen the line as long as it is, Monday through Friday at the Franklin Food Pantry. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? And I see some faces down there that I would never think would be at the Franklin Food Pantry. Now, is that an insult to them? No, it's not. What it is it's telling me that hard times have fallen on this town as well as every other town. So that's the reason for me not voting for an override, and I'm going to elaborate a little bit more about me voting as this, probably in the closing portion of this interview.
Joe, let me ask you this. The town council has taken the sewer and the trash removal out of the budget and put it as a separate service.
Mm-hmm.
And they've taken because we're in the Charles River District and we have to do certain federal requirements, we've taken that out of the budget and we put it as a separate fee.
Okay.
Would you ever do that again as a town councilor?
I've reviewed that briefly. My opinion is probably the same as yours. The answer is no, I would not. I would not. If elected, again, if elected on November 4th, that's one of the issues of many that I'm going to address.
Okay.
Okay, so...
Joe, the town council, because of the override failed, has cut here and there from everyone a small proportion. They could have taken a major program or several major programs and cut them more seriously back. If you have to make cuts, what approach would you take? Would you take the small from everyone, or would you look for some big items that you would not support?
That's going to take a group of 9 to make that, to give you that.
No, it's going to take a group of 5.
I'm sure you're 100% correct. A group of 5, but that has to be looked at. Should you do the small knitting bit, or should you do the big knitting bit? My opinion is the small one. All right. Let's use the senior center for an example.
No, let's use the fire truck. They refused to fund a third fire engine in Franklin.
Not only did they refuse to fund a third fire truck, they refused to fund an ambulance. An ambulance.
That's when I'm sorry. I'm talking about an ambulance.
The fire truck was not.
No,
this
you're
time
correct.
around.
It's the ambulance
exactly.
that I'm speaking about. You're correct.
Just for clarification, the fire truck did happen a few years back. Yeah. This time, it was the ambulance. I would like to ask the question, maybe to Mr. Helen, through the audience that's going to view this. Why would you want to cut something that's an item that brings in a positive revenue to the town of Franklin? Each and every time that vehicle leaves the fire station, it brings back revenue. It's not a cost to the town of Franklin. Those costs are picked up by the insurance company. It makes money. It supplies mutual aid to surrounding communities. All right, so I think that was a mistake and should never have happened. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that my son's a lieutenant on the Franklin Fire Department. The opinion that I'm giving you today is not based on the fact that he's a lieutenant on the Franklin Fire Department. It's just a common sense statement coming from me. What I would like to run a little bit more is on the first question that you asked me, Franklin resident. I'd like to elaborate on that just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or allow me to elaborate on that just a little bit more. Like I said, I've been here just about all my life. As I indicated earlier, went through the Franklin school systems, double sessions in the beginning. Worked for Ben Franklin Savings Bank before it was taken over by Rockland Trust. I was a corporator of that bank. I was an officer of that bank.
Really?
Yes, I was. During the time that Ben Franklin was operational, we had a program called Meals on Wheels. And I don't know if you're I'm pretty sure that you're going to be familiar with that.
Yes, and they're still going.
Yes, it is. And that is a very, very beneficial program to the senior centers. We would take those meals down to Central Park Terrace primarily and distribute the meals.
Central Park Terrace is a place town operated for senior centers. Probably not only for seniors, but
at one time. I think in its beginning history, it was strictly for seniors.
Yeah.
It is now it's now housing for any resident that needs that type of assistance. Okay.
Do we need an additional senior center, Joe?
I mean,
not senior. Do we need additional housing for older people here in Franklin?
Well, the town's not getting any younger. When I sat on the council, I didn't have this gray hair back when I was on it.
But only about 10% of the town is over 65. A higher percentage is under 18.
Okay. The senior center that we have right now, the ones you're referring to, I don't think you can find a better senior center around the surrounding towns. or management thereof. That senior center interacts with our young folks as well. People like myself and you and I haven't been in there that many times. I did have the opportunity to visit it 2 or 3 weeks ago. Great staff. A lot of places packed. You can't find a parking spot at the Franklin Senior Center. What does that tell you? That the seniors need that senior center. It's a second home to them. And as I said earlier in this statement, they get to interact in programs with the younger youth. And there's nothing better than to get the generations to work together, especially in this day and age.
So let's go back to your growing up here in Franklin.
Yes. So
and you're an officer of
no,
Benjamin Franklin.
When Ben Franklin was operational,
right?
All right, it sold out to Rockland Trust.
Yeah.
At that time, I was an officer of the bank as well as a corporator of the bank.
Yep.
It got sold out, as I said earlier. I don't want to be redundant, but it sold out to Rockland Trust. I've also had my own electrical business in the town of Franklin, serving Franklin residents for over 35 years. I've built probably 42, 43 single-family homes in the town of Franklin, primarily on Chestnut Street. That's where I did my bulk of my building. It's called Reddings Run. It's a 7-lot subdivision. Then I did another small subdivision up from that on Sarah Lane. That's a 6-home subdivision. So I've done some building, done a ton of electrical work, did a lot of the town's work at the time. Like I say, I'm going back 35 years. There was only 2 electricians in this town at that time. It was Nick LaRosa, who owned L&K Electric, right up the street. And then when I branched out, there was McGann Electric. So that's that. I have 2 children. My son Joseph, as I told you earlier, he's a lieutenant on the Franklin Fire Department. My daughter resides in the state of Missouri, a little town called Ashland. She's out there with my 3 grandchildren. My son has 2 grandchildren here, and he resides in Norfolk. Just recently retired. People ask me, Joe, why have you thrown your hat back into the town council ring? I love the town of Franklin. I've been here all my life. I've seen it go from 6,000 people up to, I think, maybe 36 and climbing to today. There's some great people in the town of Franklin, some great people, some very knowledgeable individuals. I don't see why we have to reach out to get different opinions from outside entities. We've got the talent right here in Franklin for any answer that we're looking for, right in the town of Franklin. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention 2 counselors that I worked with, and actually worked at Ben Franklin with both of them, Mr. Al Wallace and a Mr. Charles Yagatian. 2 very, very bright minds. One of them has passed on. Mr. Yagatian
Al Wallace has passed on.
Exactly, and a great gentleman.
And he was a great Federated Church member.
Exactly.
And he was I don't remember, an insurance company.
Yes, he did.
And he went out of his way to contribute to the town of Franklin.
Right.
I'd like to mention, while you were talking, Dan Gorelick died on the Franklin Country Club golf course.
Okay.
But he was a very prudent financial person here in the town of Franklin.
Yep. And both of those individuals that I mentioned were the same way. But they didn't just speak to speak. They speak with knowledge. They speak with experience. They were truthful. They were upfront. Those are the type of people that we need today. That's what we need today. And I'm not condemning anybody, but I'm just giving you examples of when I sat on the town council back when individuals like that were just great to work with. And that's where I got some of my experience from, listening to those people, as well as some of the town administrators that we've had. All right, and Mr. Helen is a very intelligent individual too, but some of our past town administrators, you got Wolfgang Bauer, you got old Paul Shue. I mean, I could go down go down the whole list. You've had Paul DeBadgis, a previous building inspector, who sat in as town administrator when we needed one. Another wealth of knowledge, a walking dictionary, if you will.
How is Paul?
Paul is doing well. Paul is doing well. He's still up on Milliken Ave. His son Nicky is up there, who used to work for me in my electrical business. They're doing very well. They're doing very well. Good people. The DeBadgis, if you trace the whole DeBadgis line, great people. Great people. So that's probably my history. Did a small Franklin Auxiliary Police. I gave time to that organization. Was eventually appointed by Chief Pellegri as a permanent intermittent police officer. Like I said earlier, worked for Ben Franklin Savings Bank. From there, I went to work for Massachusetts State Police as a director of facilities. From there, I went to Camp Edwards down on Cape Cod as a project manager.
Camp Edwards is the military cemetery.
Yes,
correct?
it is. Yes, it is.
Is a military cemetery that mass veterans and the wives are eligible.
Absolutely. My brother rests there today. That's where my brother is. Yeah.
So you were there as a facilities manager.
As well as facilities project manager.
Project manager.
Project manager. Yeah. Facilities manager for Ben Franklin Savings Bank.
Right.
And facilities manager for Massachusetts State Police.
Yeah.
I worked at the general headquarters on Route 9 in Framingham.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And
do you have when you're elected town councilor, right? Is there something right away that you would be advocating to change? Like, would you be advocating to acquire the ambulance?
Yes, I would say yes to that. Right away, we've got to get our cards in order, if you will. There's a lot of mismanagement up there. I don't like the way that I shouldn't say they, I don't like how the public is treated in front of the town council. If Joe McGann or if yourself or if this gentleman wants to walk up to in front of the town council on the citizens' comments, they should be treated with respect. How quickly the people that they're addressing forget, if it wasn't for that individual standing behind that podium expressing his or her concerns, they wouldn't be sitting there. That person standing there is a registered voter. They're one of the ones that have put those individuals there, and they should listen to them. And another thing I don't like is the cutting off under citizens' comments at 3 minutes.
I don't like it either.
No, I don't. I don't. I didn't when I sat on it before, and I don't like it now. If an individual has something to say, let them say it. Let them say it. And if their 3 minutes runs out and there's nobody in the auditorium or in the council chambers that can give their time to them, let them speak. I don't want them to go 15, 20, 25 minutes, but let them get it off their chest what they have to say. And the other portion of that is, I don't like the fact that they have to wait to the end of the meeting to get an answer.
That's only the school committee.
Excuse me?
That's only the school committee.
No, that's the Franklin Town Council.
No, the Franklin Town Council takes citizens' comments as the first order
of business.
Of business.
You're correct. But if I come up there today, let's say you're the town council, and I'm speaking under citizens' comments, I tell you my problems, I tell you my concerns, but I don't get an answer right then and there from the 9 councilor or any information from the town administrator. You have to wait to the end of the meeting to get an answer to the question that you asked at 7 o'clock. You're not going to get till probably 9:30.
Yeah, but they're probably not even going to give you an answer.
Well, they should. They should.
Well, they might not know all the information.
I have a difference of opinion in that. If I come in at 7 o'clock and I address a question to you, you have 2.5 hours, 3 hours to kick that around. There's a recess that's in there. They can kick it around amongst themselves then to come up with some type of an answer. When I sat, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because if I don't say it, sometimes I forget it. When I was on the town council, at the first go around, when we went to town council form of government from Board of Selectmen, and you probably remember we had
I do.
Herbie Vendetti, John McHale and Pete Bernelli, okay? Then we went to the town council form of government. 19 people sat on that first council. 19 individuals. How can you get a consensus with 19 people? There was a time when I was married, sitting across the table, me and my wife couldn't come to a consensus. How are you going to get 19 individuals? So then they reduced it down to 17. Then they reduced it down to 11. Now it sits at 9. I honestly think we could do it with 5. I think 5 is the ideal number. But to answer your question, if somebody comes up there under citizens' comments, they should be heard and not have to wait in the audience or go home and get ready to watch it on TV. That answer should be delivered to them as soon as they ask it. My opinion.
I gather you own your home, right?
Yes, I do.
Do you feel that your assessment is fair? Or do you believe because you're older and maybe haven't kept the house up as new houses are, that you're being overassessed?
My home is 20 years old. The elderly in Franklin have bought and paid for every single school that we have in the town of Franklin, and then some, and continue to do some. What I would advocate for is a reduction in that tax bill for an individual who has hit a certain age, They still shouldn't have to be contributing the same amount of money as a younger couple does.
Do you have another tax proposal that Franklin the Town Council should adopt?
Not at this time. Not till if I'm fortunate enough to get back up there and be able to get educated as to what is in the foreseeable future. I mean, everybody is suffering right now. Not only the town of Franklin. I mean, perfect point. We got the President of the United States that can end a war overseas, but we got a President of the United States that can't bring the right and the left together to bring all these people that are losing their jobs in government, that are suffering, that don't have anything, and what little they did have, and I'm not disparaging their jobs. I'm just talking about what little bit of savings that they had is going to be taken away if, in fact, we don't get that government back together and back to work.
Is there any proposed cuts that you would recommend right off the bat as a town council?
Again, at this time, I'm going to defer giving you an answer to that. I'm not trying to circumvent the answer. But if I'm fortunate enough to be elected and I get to see A through Z, see the budget, then I can give a more concrete answer. But I think you got to let the duck get in there, get his beak wet, and then come up with some answers.
I understand that Facebook has kind of misstated some of the facts about who you are.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you brought that point out. Just recently, the other day, I don't have Facebook. I don't have it. My daughter has it out in Missouri. So she gets a lot of the questions, and then she calls me up and relays them to me, and I will give her the answer, and she will post them. One young lady, and I started to mention it earlier, but I'm going to run with it right now because it's right. The question that you're asking is going to address her concerns and maybe everybody else's concern. She had asked a question on social media, i.e. Facebook. Could you ask Mr. McGann why he hasn't voted in the past number of elections? It's a valid question. I have not. I have not voted in probably the past 6 local and 6 national elections. Now that answer to that will remain with me. Until you've walked a few steps in these shoes over the past 10 or 12 years, I don't think I have to give that answer. The rebuttal I gave back to my daughter to give to this young lady who was asking that question is, I have a landline phone with an answering machine. Feel free to call it. And my daughter put that phone number down, which is 508 528-4707. If so she wants an answer, feel free to call me and I'll gladly give you the answer. I have a cell phone, 508-244-1503. You have that number. Feel free to call it, and I'll give anybody the answer to any question that they want to ask me.
But for personal reasons, you agree that you haven't voted.
That is correct.
But there's a deep reason that you have.
It's a personal reason.
Right,
It's a personal reason.
That you have.
Exactly.
Let me ask this delicate question.
Yep.
Will you be voting in this election?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
Okay.
Yes.
Standing out, encouraging people to vote for you.
Yes, I will.
And let's just cover for a minute that on Tuesday, November 4th,
It's okay.
at the Franklin High School auditorium,
Correct.
from 6 in the morning
Till
to
8
at night,
Right.
we'll be voting. Or
Correct.
you can also ask for an absentee ballot.
Yep.
And you can go down to the town clerk's office,
Yep.
see Nancy,
Yep.
and vote at her office.
I believe that started today. That program opened up to the voters today.
Yeah.
Yep.
How you gave a couple of phone numbers, but Joe, how do you want people to be part of your campaign or reach you if they have more interest in who you are or helping you?
Well, like I said, my daughter has Facebook, so a lot of people have been responding to that, and I'm going to say everything has come back positive. Not to say that I want to run with that young lady just a little bit further, not only to put her mind at ease, but anybody else who may be viewing this program. There's a reason behind it, and again, I've alluded to. Call me on my landline phone. Call me on my cell phone. I have an email address, McGannJoseph@AOL.com. I'll gladly engage with anybody on any subject regarding this individual. I have given back to the town of Franklin. Mm-hmm. The town of Franklin has been very good to me as well. Since I opened up my electrical business, it's the town of Franklin that supported McGann Electric and his family. I'm very grateful to live in this town. And that's why this town continues to grow, because it's a great town to live in.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate
thank you very
you
much.
being here.
Yep.
And go ahead.
If I may, I want to wish every single candidate the best of luck, because being in that position is not an easy position. The vote that you take, I may appease you, but alienate the individual who's recording this for us right now. So when you sit up there, if you have the best interest collectively, I mean collect all 9 when they take a vote, if they have the town of Franklin's interest at heart, town of Franklin's best interest at heart, we'll have even a better, greater Franklin than we do right now.
Both Joe and I encourage you to go and vote either by person, mail, or on the day of the election at the high school auditorium. And we hope you say hello to us. And if you have any questions, give a talk.
Yep.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you very much.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors, good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.